Hello. Hey, Instagram. All right. Just waiting for, okay, we got Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn online. Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Happy Tuesday. Um, Today we're going to be talking about repurposing content. Just maybe a few ways on how to effectively repurpose content in your coaching or consulting business. Hey, Drea. So feel free to drop your questions, comments into the chat, and we can discuss them here live. Or if you're watching the replay, I will also respond to your comments as well, or you can shoot me a DM, all of the above. So let's go ahead and dive right into it, guys. I don't know about you all, but I don't like the content creation hamster wheel. And more importantly, how do we create systems in our business so that it doesn't feel that way? Like we're just constantly, all we're doing is creating content, right? Just to level set for a second, and to be honest, the majority of us are on social media not as content creators, truly, right? We are business owners and entrepreneurs first, right? True content creators create content for the aesthetics, for the beauty, just to put their art or their, you know, expression out there. We're out here running a business. So, social media, we are really using social media as a tool to market our business more effectively. So, social media or marketing platforms are tools that we leverage to increase brand awareness, aka get the word out about our business. So that means we're not just creating content just to create content. We want to attract people that are interested in our products or services. Hey, Bobby, how are you? So now, what tends to happen, and what have seen with coaches and consultants, is that you get stuck in creating content just to post something, right? You know, you need a presence on social media. So, what do? You go, you set up 20 social accounts or marketing platforms of some kind, and then you tell everybody you're on social media, right? And that's when the struggle comes in. That's when you start to struggle because you have 20 social accounts. I'm exaggerating, but I mean it feels like 20, right? Let's be honest. And now you're trying to figure out what to post on all of them. So, do you find yourself asking yourself often, what am I posting on social media today? Or you find yourself saying, I got to post today, but post what though? Like if these are things that, hey Tyra, that commonly come into your head, then we need to have a conversation because we're talking about repurposing content today, right? But what I will say is that before you can effectively repurpose your content, you need to have content pillars, content strategy, offers, and messaging all in alignment. Okay. That's when this really works beautifully. You need to have clarity in your offers and especially in your messaging to make this work for you. But for the sake of today, let's pretend like all that stuff is in order. And now we're just figuring out how you're going to create content for these 20 social media accounts that you've opened up. I know I'm exaggerating a little bit, but if you're a solopreneur, like if you're in the solopreneur phase and you haven't built a team yet, it's going to be difficult to expand beyond 2 to 3 platforms effectively. And notice how I said effectively, right? Of course, you can have multiple social platforms, but to actually maintain a presence effectively, it does take work, right? But anywho, let's talk about a few ways you can work smarter, not harder, when it comes to creating content, right? So the first thing we need to do is have one source of long form content. One source of long form content. So, why do you want to do that? So that you can extract the meta and micro messages from your own content that best resonates with your audience. Okay. You're extracting the meta and micro messages from your own content that best resonates with your audience. So, two things here. You got to know what those micro and meta messages are, and you got to know what resonates with your target audience. The second part will be learned over time if you study your content engagement. So, Once you know what those meta and micro messages are and what resonates, you now have the power to create infinite amounts of content. Hey, Deuce. So notice how I said you need to become effective at dissecting your own content. So many of us, quite frankly, are used to or even taught, really, to stalk our competitors and copy their content. Don't and not to reinvent the wheel, right? Like I've heard that from so many people. Like they just said, just look at my competitor's page and do what they do. So here's the thing with that, right? When you copy your competitors' content, you are in effect creating content for their audience and not yours. So when you're trying to attract your ideal clients, you're going to find the people that they won't really be that good fit for your offerings that you're looking for. Also, if you paid more attention to your own content and learn how to utilize it more effectively, you wouldn't be reinventing the wheel, right? That's actually the whole point of repurposing right there. That's the whole point of it, guys. Welcome. I knew. So now I know you're probably like, I don't get it, right? But there's a quick and easy way to do this, I promise you. So let's take your long form piece of content, right? And we're going to pull out all the meta and micro messages. You probably have 3 to 5 major points in every piece of long form content, followed by maybe 5 to 10 micro points, typically. Your major points can be feed posts, carousels, videos, lives. Your micro points can be shorts of some kind, reels, TikToks, YouTube shorts, stories, right? Then you also can quote yourself, right? So for those of us that like to use posts or like to use or post inspirational or motivational quotes, sometimes I see that's all you post, which there's got to be a balance there, right? If you actually do have a service or a product, right? People got to know what you're doing. But anywho, that's a whole nother live. Um, do you ever actually quote yourself? I quote myself all the time. I quote other people, but I do quote myself all the time. That's literally it. You basically like have to fall in love with your own content, dissect it, and get good at saying the same things in different ways of breaking things down, right? You saying something once isn't enough for your audience to grasp it. If they even saw your post or video or whatever type of content that it really was, right? So let's get a tangible example going, right? So let's use a mindset coach as an example, and let's say they have a YouTube video where they've done 5 ways to build a positive mindset when you feel things are out of balance in your life. I'm making this up, y'all. This I don't know, right? So let's say this person gave you the 5 ways in their video, right? Next, they made a post about each of those 5 ways. So that's 5 posts, right? Then they made a carousel on Instagram with the 5 ways, right? Teaching you the carousel. Then they went live 5 times, um, talking about each of these 5 ways separately, but gave more details for each one, right? Then they took way number one, made a reel in the TikTok about it. Then they quoted something that they said in this video about the post, right? Or and made a post about it. So like they said something in this YouTube video, they quoted themselves, and then maybe the quote was something like, "Working on your mindset is like taking a breath of fresh air." So that's a Crystal Vernay quote. I made that up, but hopefully you guys get the picture. Okay, so work smarter, not harder. That's just an example, right? There's so much more content that could be pulled from just this one YouTube video, right? So, of course, this doesn't take into account like your offers and your messaging, but these are just some ideas on how this can work for you. Some of you are up late at night trying to create content for each platform that you're on, for your emails, for your podcast, for your blog posts. You're trying to reinvent the wheel. And what's happening is your messaging is coming across differently on all the platforms because of that approach that you're taking. right? So there's a lack of consistency with how you're saying what you're saying on different platforms. And so your audience is having a difficult time connecting and resonating with you. The blueprint, I work with my clients on their offers, their messaging, their content creation, and which marketing platforms that they need to be on, right? To optimize their presence on on and off social media. Because let's face it, honestly, social media can be overwhelming, and that's real, right? And you don't want to be in the place of where people like see your brand, like see you once, and then like wonder what happened to you because you need to take a break, right? So if you're interested in learning more about how you can maximize your content and create offers that sell, you can click the link in my bio if you're watching me on Instagram, or if you're watching me on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. You can click the link in the description of this live and you can apply to the Brand Builder Blueprint. All right, guys, do you guys have any questions? Any questions at all? Any questions about anything? No questions? All right, y'all. I'm going to do like a really quick recap, and then we're going to go ahead and land this plane. So, we've been talking about the most effective ways to repurpose content in your coaching or your consulting business. The one of the most effective ways to do that is to actually take one piece of your long form content and pull out the meta and micro messages within that, and then just make different types of content for different platforms that you may be marketing on. So, like, what platform you're on, your messaging and your offers aside, this is really just a way to be able to do that more effectively in your business so that doesn't feel like you're trying to like sit there and just come up with content every day, all day, like racking your brain. So if you can come up with a couple of pieces of long form content, you can literally take that and have so many different pieces of content to continue to utilize over weeks and even months, right? And you will have to repeat it. You will have to repeat it because saying something one time, one way is not enough for your audience to grasp that concept, whatever it is that you're trying to, the message that you're trying to convey to them. Okay. So you posted something one time, that doesn't mean you don't post it again or you don't say something similar again. You need to say it over and over and over. That is literally how you're going to teach your audience and drill into them exactly like what it is that you do and how you can help. You have to repeat yourself. So taking that long form piece of content, pulling out those meta and micro messages, creating smaller pieces of content from that, and just being creative with it, figuring out different ways to do that. Quote yourself. Like, listen, I'm definitely a person who loves quotes, and I like go and search for like the motivational quotes, like things from John Maxwell, Jim Rohn. Like, I love um, reading and hearing things that they said, but your audience is coming for you, right? Like, they're coming to hear your message, your voice. Not to say that they don't want to hear from people that you read that inspire you, right? Because I think that's important too, right? As someone who might be teaching or educating, but um, they also come to hear your voice. They want to know what you said, what you think, your opinion. That's why they're in your community. So don't let that point be lost on you when you go to like message things to them or put out pieces of content for them, right? They wanted to hear from you for a reason. So I hope this has been helpful, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Please feel free to shoot me a DM or you can drop your questions into the comments. If you're watching me on Facebook, you can reach me at I Simply She. YouTube is also at I Simply She, and LinkedIn is at Crystal Vernay. And Instagram, I am at I underscore simply underscore she. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will talk to you guys later. Have a good one.